Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. This is going to be from UCSD Winter Games Fest, and we have Pandemic Smashcan, who is, of course, Xeris, starting at the 9 o'clock position as the Brown Protoss. 3 o'clock position, we have Jaeyun, aka David Kim. Not the David Kim, but, you know, David Kim. They're actually asking if Luke wins. They're cackling about it, apparently. He's going to be the orange zerg. Orange kind of looks brown, does it not? But I'll still be able to tell the difference because they're, you know, who versus who. This is going to be a pretty friendly match between these two guys. They're both on the CSL team, which, if you're unaware, UCSD ended up taking second this season, the CSL, after I was like, oh, they're totally going to take first, no problem this entire time. No, ended up taking second, killing me, guys. But nevertheless, they had a really good time. Played really well. UCSD Winter Games Fest was an excellent level competition. You actually had EG Inca and EG Machine both show up, so really high caliber of player altogether. I think everybody else was actually around the B+ level, and I think even they were saying that it was really good LAN. There were a lot of good people there. Granted, it wasn't like WCG, but it was really solid. So next time it comes around, which will be in about a year, come check it out at UCSD if you're in the Southern California area, and if you're in the CSL, go, well, if you're in the CSL, good luck, but otherwise, join up in the CSL. I think right now is registration time, if you haven't already. Anyway, 9 o'clock position, Xeris, very strong player, Protoss. He said he's really been improving against Zerg overall. Terran used to be his strongest matchup, but all of a sudden he faltered out of nowhere versus his Terran. He's always been, I think, pretty solid versus Protoss. He always felt kind of like Zerg was kind of his down spot, but we'll see how he plays here. It looks like Jaeyun scouted the front door, scouted kind of a goofy fast expansion here, a little bit in an awkward position. I'm used to seeing a little bit further back, and he's going to take the opportunity to try to mine out that back mineral so he can send Zerglings down the way, but he's in the meantime going for a 12 hatch. Jaeyun actually calling it, this is his map. He's saying I can take it. Jaeyun actually is the guy who won last year at the UCSD Winter Games Fest. I'm really trash talking, going back and forth, and really, I think he's generally considered the best player on the UCSD team, across the board average. I think there's definitely an argument for Cora back and forth. Cora ended up winning it the year before. He's a very solid Protoss player, and I think there's also actually an argument now for Random Korean, who played very well at the UCSD Winter Games Fest. But this is really, I think, a high caliber matchup, because Xeris, of course, leader of Pandemic, a very strong Protoss player, a pretty solid player. I would say he's been on the USA B team. He's also gone to WCG for Canada, so pretty high caliber matchup right here, and I expect it to be pretty good overall. So it looks like that probe gonna sneak down. It is gonna see that well, maybe not. Yeah, it is gonna finally see that mineral. That mineral. Actually, this might be entertaining just for the chatter back and forth. Looks like that drone is going to be able to get those mines down there unopposed. Nexus before anything else after seeing that 12 hatch, and it looks like there's a probe for whatever reason sneaking to this upper right hand corner, just probably deny that drone from building that hatchery right there. Still no Zerglings produced, so going to have a difficult time one-on-one, and actually just running up to attack. Still actually able to take the probe out, because the probe, I guess it had to turn around. Usually a probe will beat a drone heads up, but Xeris not completely aware, and great chat back and forth. So Jaeyun able to sneak it out pretty quickly here. Xeris not too shabby, though. He's still got the cannons. He's going to have his Nexus pretty quickly. He has that gateway here. I'm a little bit worried about this because well, first of all, he's got this back line mined out, which is usually, again, why you see it built a little bit further back, a little bit more kind of in this interior wall, and then you have to get an early Dragoon or Zealot, more Zealot walls down to this location. It's difficult to do fast expansion on this map. I almost feel like 2 gates kind of standard and what you go with normally, just because of the funky front door. But nevertheless, yeah, you got that pretty wide gap right there. Zerglings could flood by. Granted, they're not going to have the perfect shot at these cannons where they're placed, but still not a terrible shot compared to other maps. Looks like Xeris trying to get that probe scout in, but Jaeyun doing an excellent job of harassing it. Meantime, straight to lair off those 3 bases. Let's see if Jaeyun's going to go for that pretty much standard 5 hatch Hydra play, which can be very, very strong in this map, again, because just the map control and kind of the circular nature. I almost feel like actually 4 hatch, kind of showing the pseudo 4 hatch thing and just transitioning directly to heavy Mutalisk at that stage is very worthwhile, because it's very difficult for Protoss just across the board to deal with Mutalisks at that stage of the match, especially when they're trying to come out here and take this third. You can see where that can just easily be harassed. This back here along the line, if you can actually get kind of some Zerglings up here to the north, I think there can be a lot of damage done done there. At the main, there's just so much territory to cover. If you build a couple of mulists, they basically have to put down a lot of cannons, which delays taking the third, gets you in a position where you can deny their third, and in the meantime, you can actually produce a couple drones alongside to get your economy absolutely rolling. Point being, it's a very difficult protoss map versus zerg. Overall, that's just kind of my opinion on it. Maybe I'm a little bit biased because I'm more of a protoss player, but it looks like we're going to see an evolution chamber instead. With that Spire alongside, I'm going to go for more of a heavy infantry mid-game. Xeris, though, wandering in with that Probe Scout, going to be able to see everything he really wanted to, seeing that Spire, first of all, being placed, also seeing that Evolution Chamber, and I think he's going to be able to adjust fairly well, and might be a little bit behind here because he's just starting Weapons 1. He's not going to be terribly behind with that Carapace. There's not going to be like this huge realm of time where essentially Jaeyun's going to have this huge weapons upgrade advantage, so it should come out pretty quickly, but still, Jaeyun is going to have that armor carapace at a critical time, I think, when really Xeris is going to be either holding on for dear life or wanting to kind of do something, and you're going to have that additional carapace, particularly if it looks like Xeris is trying to get the Citadel of Adun. Let's see if he goes, though he's already got the Stargate. I'm going to see if he goes Bisu build here and also gets the Templar Archives, wanders some Dark Templar out. But particularly, I like this from Jaeyun because if he gets that carapace 1, these drones are going to be 2-hit kills otherwise, and it looks like a couple Zealots running out off time. Their lives are forfeit. Actually, 3 Zealots, but their lives should still be forfeit with a decent amount of micro here. Xeris able to run up, actually get a couple of decent kills, and split one Zealot off, and it looks like, wow, saving the other 2, still not seeing it, and it looks like this Zealot is actually going to be able to wander in and maybe even get a drone kill. Jaeyun actually missing it, actually losing track of that Zealot, thought it went to the north when it's in fact in the natural secondary, and he's going to be able to do some harassment here. Even pulling these 3 drones off the line, worthwhile, going to get 1 kill. Might actually get 2 if he can run up, and yeah, going to be able to get 2 kills. So nice there on Xeris' part. Very nice split with that Zealot, and playing very cleverly in this regard. I also like Jaeyun's Overlord in this upper left-hand corner, so he can kind of spot out that expansion when it goes up. Looks like he is going to go for 5 hatcheries rather than Mulisks here. He's also waiting on that Carapace. Actually, that Carapace will definitely help with the large bulk of Hydralisks that are going to be coming out, particularly without the Weapons 1 to support. And a couple of cannons, going to need a lot of cannons on the front door. Also Templar Archives, we see that first High Templar almost halfway here, and 2 additional gateways being produced. First Corsair is already out on the board somewhere, at least it should be, wandering somewhere. Okay, yeah, there. And going to be adjoining here. It doesn't look like they've managed to get Overlord kills first, because again, sneaky Overlord in that upper left-hand corner. Should still be able to get something, though. Another Overlord right there in the corner. And really, this is going to be a big problem for Xeris if he doesn't take care of it eventually. It looks like a couple Scourge wandering in, one of them getting killed before they were able to really hit anything, but the second one landing is going to damage a little bit there, and it looks like because of that natural secondary disruption, maybe a couple other factors, a lot of early Zerglings and things like that, that Jaeyun was a little bit off there, and he didn't have that Scourge kind of in position where he really wanted it to, because usually you won't see 3 Corsairs out in the air. So it looks like Xeris might have a nice solid opportunity. Little freaking out probe, do your dance, do the jig, slowly move your way down. Might have an opportunity to seize air control, which would be very, very important on a map like this. He's already wandering out with already 4 Corsairs. The Scourge, what are you doing out here? Not anything. It looks like there's another evolution chamber down, so we're going to see big commitment to infantry. Let's see if these Scourge swing around, but actually with a decent amount of micro, probably going to see 2 Overlord kills and maybe in those Scourge even killed. So yeah, actually 1 Scourge taken down and only a single Scourge hit otherwise once again. So these Corsairs are going to be able to get pretty solid map control, and does manage to land with that, but just barely. So it looks like Xeris actually doing a pretty good job maintaining control. He's actually pretty far ahead economically, it looks like. Might be able... Wow, one's probably going to land. Wow, actually able to juke it somehow. Going to lose another Corsair, but backing off from there. You can see a lot of Lurkers moving to their front doors, so they are going to have level 1 weapons, and no detection really to help. So I like this play from Jaeyun, because usually what you'll see is kind of that push to High Templar either way, and it looks like some Zealots actually wandering out. They want to try to force these Lurkers back. I don't know if they're even going to commit back, though. It looks like they should just be able to run in. There are cannons back here, and I'm kind of curious actually why Jaeyun decided to attack the front door and didn't bring any of his units back here, because I think if you just bring 2 Lurkers up here, you'd be able to catch these cannons before they warp in and do a lot of damage with that natural secondary. Instead, looks like he's just happy to go take that out, but able to run up with, wow, nothing to stop the Zealots, and they able to just run right in, take the Hydralisk Den down. I thought there'd be another lurker or two out here to support, but nothing to support, and it looks like Jaeyun's going to end up losing his natural secondary. The Archon able to run up and do some damage and kill a lot of these Zerglings. These Zerglings getting absolutely nothing accomplished. Level 1 weapons is up to try to kind of support alongside that level 1 Carapace, and he's going to run right into the main. Something calling trying to be built, but I don't think it's going to come up.